I hope I'm both visible as well as audible. Thank you. Sri Basavaraj, Purna, and the guests who have kindly come today, and my friends. It is a great honor for me to be here to talk about a few things that I've been writing for some time now. In fact, at the outset, I must say that I'm not going to say anything that is already not known to you. Everything probably that I have to say and I'm going to say is already known to you. The only thing that I'm going to add is that I will try and bring them together so that those of you who have been following the developments in the country for the last 8 to 10 years will be able to see a very clear pattern of the things that have been happening. That is the only value, that is the only additional thing that I am going to bring to the table today. When we discussed about the title, we have agreed on illusion as reality. Today we are at a very interesting stage in our national life. Very challenging also. It's very difficult for us to see what is reality and what is illusion. I'll give you one small example. We have had G20 summit here in India recently. And G20 has been in existence for quite some time, quite a few years. We have not heard so much about G20 before, but recently we have seen hoardings and posters about G20 everywhere. Petrol stations, highways, junctions, roads, villages, cities, throughout the country, airports, everywhere. That is the basis for the creation of an illusion. The illusion is this, that if you look at the kind of publicity and propaganda that has been mounted in this country about G20, I will tell you what was the impression that I had. Compare my impression when I narrate that impression with the kind of impression that you had and see, whether we are on the same page. The impression that I had when I saw the kind of publicity blitzkrieg was that the entire world, the major countries of the entire world, be it United States, be it Russia, China, France, United Kingdom, Japan, the entire organization of African states, South American states, everybody, they were absolutely clueless about what is to be done in the world. They had no idea. They're completely lost. They're groping for a solution, a path to go forward. And what did they do? They came to India prostrated and said, please show us the path. Then India, because it's a Vishwaguru, said, don't worry, we are going to lead you. And the entire world descended on India, learnt a few things, and went back. That is the impression that I had. I don't know about you. But the reality was that a few months ago it was Indonesia. Yesterday it was India. And today it is Brazil, which was presiding over a meeting of the G20 nations. None of them, for the last so many years during which G20 was in existence, no country, no leader really made such a huge song and dance about hosting a G20. But the illusion that I had, I just shared with you. That was the kind of illusion that, we were presented with. And there was another illusion that was the slogan for G20. Most of you remember the slogan for G20. Can somebody just say? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That was projected as the creed of India. That was projected as a value for which India stands. If you look at it, what did it say and where is this from? If you check, it is from an Upanishad called Mahopanishad, which is one of the minor Upanishads. It is not Isopanishad, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Taittari, Aitareya, Chandogya, Brihadaranyakam, none of these. Adi Shankara has not even touched this. Probably it was much later than Adi Shankara. We do not know. Pandits will tell us. But what does it say? What did it say? It said it is one small part of it was taken to project, to create an illusion that we, and particularly the government and the leadership of today's India, stands for this kind of a value. What is the value that they projected? What is the value and what is the illusion they projected out of that? Was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire earth is one family. But what does the Upanishad say? The Upanishad says that Ayam Nijaha Paro Vetti Gadaha Laghuchetasam Udara Charitanantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now, it is a mere description of two types of mind. Laghuchetasam, Udara Charitam. Laghuchetasam is, Basavasya, is a narrow mind. Lahu, small mind. Udara Charitanam is the broad mind. The Mahopanishad sloka simply said that for those with narrow mind, they reckon some as theirs, nijaha, paraha, some as others. But for those with broad mind, the entire earth is one family. It is merely an attempt to define what is a broad mind and what is a narrow mind. It is not an assertion of anybody's creed. If at all you want to appropriate that as a value, as an assertion of a value, then it is such a contradiction, because on the one hand you say that he is not mine, she is mine, they are not mine, that religion is not mine, this caste is not mine, that region is not mine, this language is not mine, that religion is not mine, that state is not mine, these people are not mine, only those people are mine, only those people who eat this are mine, those people who eat that are not mine. When you, in your vyavahar, in your conduct, in your behavior, in your policy, in your creed, when you differentiate between nijaha and paraha, which means that you are laghu chetasa, you are not udara charita. But having that as a reality, but this is the attempt to create a huge illusion that this government and what they represent, what they stand for, is a huge liberal value of entire world, entire earth is one family, which is the illusion. I'll come to the reality that we know and the illusion that the government wants to project as far as the economy is concerned. Let me tell, because I deal with these numbers and I deal with, but I don't want to bore you with too much of data and too much of statistics, but broadly, I'll give you what is happening in the economy. What is it that we hear from the government, which I term as illusion, and after I describe, kindly compare notes with what you have in mind or what you have studied, what you have observed, and then see what is reality and what is illusion. I'll place a very limited few facts before you. One is, today India has one of the highest youth unemployment in the world. Our youth unemployment is 24%. We are in the company of Iran, Lebanon, Syria. This is the august company that we are keeping. And one of our neighbors, Bangladesh, their youth unemployment rate is 12%, almost half of our youth unemployment. And our rate of inflation is, even a compliant, very subordinate kind of a Reserve Bank also says that it is much, much above the tolerable limit. Much, much above the acceptable limit. How much it is, I'll come to it. This is the second one. The third one is, sir, our domestic savings is at an all-time low of 5%. And our domestic capital investment is also at a very, very low level, falling from about 31% about 10 to 12 years ago to about 19% today, which goes to show that the domestic trade and industry, especially the industry, the investors, in spite of whatever they say publicly, do not have much confidence in our economy and its prospects. Otherwise, they will not withhold investment. If they had confidence in the investment climate of the country, if they had confidence in the prospects of the Indian economy, they would have really invested. It would not have fallen from 31% to 19%. And the number of people who have been relinquishing the Indian citizenship year after year has been going up for the last 8 to 9 or even 10 years continuously. I don't want to bore you with the data, but just to give you a taste of it, I'll read out a couple of data points for you. In 14, the number of people, and most of them are what is called HNI, that is high net worth individuals. The number of HNIs and the general people who have relinquished their citizenship in 2014 was 1,29,000. In 18 it was 1,34,000. I'm skipping some years, but you know it's continuous. It's a secular trend. In 21 it was 1,63,000. 22 was 2,25,000. So it's continuously, people are fleeing the country. Capital is going away from the country. Domestic investment is falling. Savings are falling. This is the reality. But what is the projection? The projection is that India is the fastest growing economy. India is now the 5th largest economy. India will be 3rd in when? Somebody says 30, 3rd term, 4th term, etc., etc. But anyway, there's a confusion about that. But you know, it probably the government is either under illusion or it wants us to be under illusion that India is going to be number 1 or number 2 in foreseeable future. That's the kind of. But you know, with so much of youth unemployment, with so much of fall in the labor participation ratio, with so much of a fall, especially of a labor participation ratio of females in India, with so much of a contraction in the domestic savings, and so much of capital flight, and so much of HNS relinquishing the citizenship and going, how is this possible? We do not know. But that is the illusion that we are presented with. This is the contrast between the kind of reality really that we face with price rise of unemployment. I'll give you one interesting practical, not interesting, I'm sorry, I withdraw that. One serious example. I don't know how many of you remember that in 2022 beginning, January, February, There was a news item that there was a lot of unrest in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh because a lot of young people were trying to travel, getting into the trains, pushing each other, and there was a lot of unrest. The reason is this, that they were all going to write an exam, a competitive examination for some positions announced by the Indian Railways. These positions were called NTPC jobs, non-technical, professional or preferred categories. Non-technical preferred categories. It's a kind of a nice euphemistic way of saying they are non-technical, which means they are manual jobs. So we also have a nice way of euphemistically calling something which is very normal, menial, manual job as non-technical preferred category. The number of jobs that were announced, advertised, were 35,000. The number of applicants were 1 crore 25 lakhs. This is the reality. The illusion is fifth largest economy, third largest economy to be, and second largest economy soon to be. This is the illusion. But very severe unemployment, youth unemployment, severe contraction of domestic savings, lot of flight of capital, flight of individuals relinquishing the citizenship and going away, fall in domestic investment. This is the reality. And of course, I do not want to go into the kind of write-offs and the debt and increase in debt and all that. You know all of that. The reason why I'm pointing this out is, as I said, you know all of them. All these points you have read somewhere or the other. But I'm only trying to juxtapose them, bring them together so that you will see a pattern. What is happening is, in this country today, in New India, is that we are agitated about something for a day or two. After that, it's completely forgotten. They're just washed out and something else is coming up. It could be a tourism spot, it could be a temple, it could be something else, it could be something else, it could be something else. But the harsh reality is being washed away. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples. One is, do you remember that we had a huge kind of a turmoil in the country. People who thought, look, what is happening to the Indian rupee? Why is it breaching 80 rupees? We were agitated about it. Were we not? For a couple of days. What is the rate of exchange between rupee and dollar today? 83. We are okay with it, aren't we? We are not bothered anymore. It's okay. All right. And when fuel prices were touching 100 rupees, you were worried? For how long? Today what is it? I don't know in Bangalore how much they sell it for. 102. And it's been 102. But we are not bothered much. When people, hundreds and thousands of people were walking from here to Bihar during the pandemic, we are all, we all felt very bad about it. We came out and we gave them water, we gave them biscuits, and we set up some things and we took photographs and all that. That's over. But we're not bothered about it after that. We were so agitated when hundreds of dead bodies have floated. Where? Ganga, the holiest of our rivers. No, we forgot. It's okay, all right. Jatasya maranam dhruvam, all right. So, but it's all right now. So there is because of this illusion, the consequence is that there is a huge amount of national numbing. What do you call in Kannada for numbing? You touch it, you don't feel it. Jom. For us it's called timri in Telugu. Yeah. You don't feel it. So, go on. Now, so what's? And we are waiting for another thing to happen. Another thing to happen to forget it. So, we are tuned to turn away from reality to illusion. Very well. And if you are making an attempt to slowly turn back to reality, then one more illusion would come. Maldives will come. Maldives versus Lakshadweep. Then, okay. Then, somebody would even advertise, look, such a business is nothing for me. Nation is first. So, I'm cancelling my Maldives trip. People have cancelled Maldives trips in such a patriotic act they have done. Basavaraj sir had told you about my father going to jail during Quit India. He was in Ballari jail. What surprises me when I start thinking about illusion in reality is that platforms, organizations who had absolutely no role in the long freedom movement of this country are today able to market themselves as patriots. You see? And I heard so many people say, see, they may be doing all this, but they are patriots. How are they patriots? But you don't participate in the freedom movement of this country, but you are a patriot. They are able to do that. We are tuned to listen to that. That is the kind of illusion and the reality. I have 2 or 3 minutes more.
Please continue.
But of course we can talk. We can also have some kind of discussion. Because you see, I believe in a dialogue, not just man ki baat. Let me give you one more reality and illusion, and I'll shut up after that. We are a democracy, a parliamentary democracy. And sorry to say, that is an illusion today. Because to me, somebody like me, or somebody like you, for many people, democracy is not just going to the polling station once in 5 years and pressing a button. That's not democracy. Democracy is a form of government where you talk, where you listen, where there is a dialogue, where there is a discussion, where there is disagreement, where there is a dissent. People tend to say, why do you disagree? Please come and talk to us. Let us see, we can reach some kind of a consensus, some kind of an agreement. Isn't that democracy? It's not? It is. To me it is. And you're perfectly, you can disagree with it. But I will tell you the illusion, why this is an illusion today. The reality is what? I'll tell you an instance where our economy and polity intersect. Our economy and polity intersect in a case which is an extraordinary case to me. Because if you look at agriculture in India, agriculture is by far a sector which impacts directly or indirectly, both directly and indirectly, not just either or, but both directly and indirectly, the largest segment of our population. Geographically also, because geographically also this is the largest area which is impacted by agriculture. Now, the government thought that this sector needs to be reformed. Whether the reforms are good or bad, what was proposed was good or bad is a debatable thing. There are people who say that is very good, there are people who say that is not good. I mean, that's a different thing. We can go into the merits or demerits of these things later in a different session. But the point I am making here is, such a huge sector which impacts the largest number of people in this country, there was a measure to reform that sector, to change that sector, how that sector is governed, how that sector proceeds, and how that sector earns and produces and distributes, how that sector gives livelihoods, etc., etc. So many things. 3 laws were enacted in Parliament. For such a huge, potentially impactful decision to enact 3 laws, there was hardly 5 minutes of discussion in our Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That's what. So then, some people were against those. They disagreed with. Therefore, they agitated. And when they were agitating, they were called anti-nationals. They were called Khalistanis. They were called agents of foreign governments and foreign forces. They were called Tukde gang. They were called people who were out to destroy India. Well, that means that the government was very much committed to it. Come what may, they disregarded Parliament also to do this. So which means that they were very committed to those reforms. Then what happens? Come Punjab elections, the Honorable Prime Minister goes out to television to say that they will withdraw those bills, laws. Then what happens? Parliament was convened. These 3 laws were withdrawn, not even 5 minutes of discussion. So when you enact them, there was no discussion. When some people opposed it, they said they were anti-nationals. The government itself withdraws them without discussion. That is the reality. But the illusion is that we are a democratic country. And we did not stop there. People said, look, you can't do this. At least talk to them. Reason out. Even till today, we have no clue of why the government wanted to bring in those acts and why it wanted to withdraw. I have no clue. I have not seen anywhere. I have no clue. I don't know if you have any clue for that. There is absolutely, it's not unavailable. This is democracy. Recently, nearly 140, how many? 143. 100, you remember the 146. Who is right? Okay, I'll take him. 143. 143 elected members of parliament were suspended, and you pass things. Democracy. You know, I remember when your state was going for elections, I used to closely follow, because mine is a neighboring state. The Prime Minister did many public meetings, rallies, and roadshow also. And in one of the public meetings, he said, in Karnataka, I remember very well, that in one of the public meetings, the Prime Minister had said, you know, the opposition had abused me 99 times, not 100, not 98, precise. 99 times the opposition had abused him. Somebody asked in the parliament, how many migrant labor died? We don't know. How many people are unemployed? No idea. How many people died because of lack of oxygen? No clue at all. But somebody is there, you know, keeping account 1, 2, 3, 99. By the time the Prime Minister came to Karnataka and delivered the speech, somebody said, sir, till now it's 99. Okay, fine, 99. But no data about unemployment, no data about, you know, what's happening in the economy, no data about pandemic, no data about that, no data about anything today. We have wonderful schemes, but no data about that also. You know, if you see the declarations and speeches and the kind of illusion that they create and the reality, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao. You know, 80% of the funds allocated for Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao was spent on publicity for petrol stations, highways, hoardings. Then you have Stand Up India, Make in India, Skill India, Khelo India. That is the illusion. What is the reality? Shut Up India is the reality. Because there is no room for people to talk, people to question, people to dissent. We are here talking. Jagrata Karnataka has organized this. You know, if I were a Swamiji, who are much in demand these days, my blessing to you would be, please continue to have this for as long as you can. We do not know when this is going to stop. And no, I am not exaggerating, because there were places where even these kind of meetings were no longer possible. It's no more possible. Please don't think, I'll tell you what. We also got into this mode that it's happening somewhere, it's not going to happen here. Manipur, very far. You see, when a photograph came, everybody was very agitated, forgot about that. Manipur has not stopped burning, it is still burning. How many days, sir? You really know the numbers. More than 100 days? 200 days. 200 days it's burning, and our people have time to go to any place, the leadership, it doesn't go there. So that is the kind of a situation that we are in. We have an illusory democracy, but reality is that we are completely controlled, completely silenced, with no room for expression, dissent. And there is also manipulation of data. I'll tell you what is the reality and what is the illusion. Some time ago, a 4-lane road, because you have a lot of highways, a 4-lane road of 1 kilometer used to be a 1 kilometer of 4-lane road. Pune. You know today what it is? 4 kilometers. So therefore, you can say very confidently that what India has not done for so many decades, we have done it in. Because you see, anything is 4 times, isn't it? Anything is 4 times, anything is 6 times, anything is 10 times. It's easy, you can just say. And people who diligently collect data, analyze the data and present data. For example, Dr. James of that International Institute of Population Studies. The government is saying that it's 100% open defecation free. And his data commissioned by the government said 19 to 20% still is yet to be covered and is set. We don't want to hear anything which is uncomfortable, which is going to be contradictory to the government narrative or government's illusion, or government's attempt to create an illusion. Reality is now not allowed to contradict the illusion. You can have an illusion coming out of a reality. Let me also show off my philosophical knowledge. Adi Shankara said, there's a rope and you have this illusion of being a snake. Sarparajju Brahma Mithya. But there is a basis for it, isn't it? There is a rope. You might mistake that for a serpent. Here there is no rope, but you have a serpent. Or probably, here there is nothing. The greatness of this narrative is this. Even without any basis, you can fool people by uttering high-sounding Sanskritized phrases. Like I told you, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Another one is Amrit Kal. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Sounds very well. And there is a wonderful attempt. There are television people here. Mr. Rudrappa is around. Okay. No, they will tell you. You can find out. You can find out how much do they charge a national television channel? How much do they charge for 1 hour of live television? 2 hours, 3 hours, a full day. Now you spend about 5,000 crores to build a temple and 2 months of continuous coverage of that, which means that the whole thing amounts to about 30, 40, 50,000 crores is spent on that to create an illusion that look, we have done something great. That is the kind of illusion that was created from what? From nothing. From so much of unemployment, so much of poverty, so much of contraction in savings, so much of fall of incomes. There's one more thing I must tell you. You know, there used to be 125 billionaires in our country. Now, do you know how many there are? 147. See, so much of progress. And you know, there are 147 billionaires, and we feel proud. I'm not a billionaire, you're not a billionaire, but both of us are made to feel very proud of some billionaire there. Isn't it? I mean, look, my country has 147 billionaires. How many do you have? You don't have many. But my country has. See how proud I am. Which means that I bought into this illusion. I bought into this narrative. I bought into this game. Then you say that look, there's no. Somebody said, who's that? Somebody said in World Hunger Index, India is very low. What, 125? 142. No, we don't have hunger. You know, I don't want to name the minister. There's a minister in the union government. That minister said on a television show, you know, they don't know, we don't have hunger. And their methodology is so faulty methodology. I'll tell you why it is a fault. It's not, I'm just quoting them. I'm summarizing that minister. That minister had said, you know, I left home today at 4:30 in the morning because I had to rush to the airport. I caught the first flight and went to Trivandrum, addressed a meeting there, came to Bombay, addressed another meeting there, went to Bangalore, addressed another meeting there. I didn't have time to even eat a small sandwich. And when I was rushing from one meeting to the other meeting, when I was rushing from one meeting to the airport, my phone rang and I took the phone and said hello. And the other side, somebody asked me, are you hungry? I said, I'm hungry. And the phone is disconnected and said, look, people are hungry in India. You know, that kind of a trivialization of rankings, world rankings. But when our Prime Minister is the most popular Prime Minister in the entire world, methodology is not questioned. That is the reality and the illusion. Now here, coming back to hunger, they say that nobody is hungry in India, but you know, these World Hunger Index people, they want to defame India. They're anti-India. They are, you know, supplied information by people who are Tugde gang and all that kind of a thing. The entire West is out to defame India, therefore they are doing this. But in the same breath, this government announces free ration for 83 crore people for the next 5 years. Why? If everybody is not hungry, nobody is hungry, why are you giving 82, 83 or 85 crore people free food grains for 5 years at a stretch? You know, not that, you know, okay, we'll give for 1 year and see what happens next year. But they know that, you know, they are going to be hungry not only today, tomorrow, but for the next 5 years. They know that is the reality. But the illusion is nobody is Shrestha Bharat. That is the illusion. We can go on with this, but I think let's stop. I'll shut up now. Let's go.